Hello.
Hey there.
Hey.
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you, Justine, so much for doing this. This is such a big help.
I'm so glad. Thank you for being here. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is get started so that we can stay on our time. And for those of you guys that are on here, while we're doing this, feel free to ask questions, throw some questions in the chat. We're probably going to have some time to go through some of that stuff, but really the emphasis of today's class is going to kind of be building on things that we talked about the first time. It'll be a little bit more interactive in terms of me going through and showing you some things. One of the things I hope to do as well is share my screen on my phone, since it's a little bit of a smaller group, and show some specific things that I've been wanting to show you. So first thing is first, I'm going to share my screen here so that I can get, give me 1 second. Pull that away. Okay, I think we got it now. Let's pull this forward. Okay, can you guys, whether you want to unmute or just pop into the chat, can you guys see this whole thing?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, so yeah, so keeping it really simple. The second class we're doing a little bit more advanced, and I'm going to bring in Canva because I don't know if you guys use Canva right now. I know it's kind of a mixed group. I know some people know a little bit about Canva and some people know absolutely nothing about it. So I'm going to kind of go through and show you some of my favorite tips. I personally pay for the Canva Pro. And the reason why I do, I think it's like $10 a month, but the reason why I do is because I use Canva for so much. And I think coming and being a business owner, there's so much that we can do on Canva that a lot of people are actually unaware of that is so helpful for our businesses. So for instance, just as an example, you could take a slideshow like this. I didn't have to design any of this. This whole slideshow is made in Canva. And all of the designs and the colors and all that stuff are already included. They have plenty of templates. I can just pop on here and literally pop my information in, and everything's ready to go. The font, the colors. I can also change these colors to fit more of my brand kit and style if I choose to do something differently there. Okay. So one of the things that I love about this is, I could use the same exact thing and not go live. And I could say I'm doing a presentation, because you guys are both in the business, you guys will get this. I can do this whole presentation privately and record it through Canva of me actually talking and doing a presentation, even if nobody was on with me. And then I could send the link privately out to people to have them watch it. So I think that that's super helpful. There's also so many ways that I use Canva for my Instagram account, my Facebook. I use Canva for all of my event invites for my consultants, anything for my band or my podcast. Like there's just so much that you can do. So for me personally, I think that all that's included, the $10 a month, it's a business write-off, and it can be just used in so many different ways. So, so again, some of the things that we're going to cover today, I'm going to talk to you about some Instagram story and Reels hacks, and some of the things to know that maybe you don't know about Canva, like just some ways to help save you time, some ways to put together some simple things so that these are kind of the and then some on top of what would be the simple things that you could pop on and you probably would be able to figure out on your own. So, yeah, like I said, if you're not using Canva for your social media, I highly recommend it. There's so many different things out there. And I'm curious from you guys too, do either of you guys on here, anybody on here use Canva right now? Whether it's just like, you're just like, yeah, I do simple things, or maybe you're somebody who really uses Canva a lot. I'm just curious to know. Okay, so simple things. Okay, yeah, so you're doing the free version. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so this will be helpful, I think, because it'll give you kind of a feel for, okay, there's some things on here maybe I'd like to do. Personally, for me, there's a lot of cool Photoshop type of tricks on here that I personally really like when it comes to using Canva. So I personally just find it very helpful. Okay. Okay, so one of the things that I love about Canva is that you can actually brand yourself with your brand colors. So for instance, and I'll actually show you some of this as I'm screen sharing on Canva and on my phone in a little bit, but I'm going to kind of briefly go through this because what's going to be included in this is you're also going to get the slideshow, the replay recording. So I made this slideshow way more detailed because it's basically going to give you exactly the step-by-step process on how to do these things that I'm talking about, which I think is important. So, when you're in Canva, you can actually click on this section that says styles in the tab. And you can create your own brand kit of custom colors. So the reason why I tell people to do this is because maybe on your Instagram feed, you want to, and maybe you guys have seen this with my Instagram. So maybe that's a good example to kind of show us when I bring up my screen share on my phone in a little bit here. But you've seen before where I have different templates of where I've like created something that looks almost like a flyer in Canva, but it's the size of an Instagram post. And I use it as kind of the cover photo for something that I'm posting on Instagram. So I love that I can pick, my kind of aesthetic and brand colors is like anything that's really bright and bold, a lot of kind of like pastel, fun, bright and bold colors. But you can actually, and I do this for my podcast too, you can actually choose a brand palette. They have a whole bunch of examples and they allow you to basically make your own brand kit. And the cool thing about that is anytime you go into Canva to create anything, you can literally, like I said, if I wanted to change the color of the things that were already in this design that of this slideshow, I could immediately just click on my little brand thing and I could flip right through and it would automatically change all these colors to fit my brand colors if I wanted to. So this really makes it something that your clients and the people that are following you will be able to recognize more of what you're doing, which I just think is super helpful. Um, I think that yes, I created my podcast logo with Canva and it was so easy to do. I really just think that it simplifies so much of the design stuff because I'm not great. Like I don't use Photoshop. I'm not a huge like photo person in that way. So I really just think that it simplified the whole process for me. And I can actually even walk you through one-on-one too, kind of on how I created that. And a lot of these tips that I'm going to be sharing are actually things that I used to kind of create that brand kit and get the podcast up and running with all, I have the same font for all my posts. I have the same all the same brand colors, all that. So it's recognizable where people see those specific colors and they know that it's my stuff. Okay. Oops. I'm changing the color here. Okay, so the other cool thing is if you don't know what you want to do for your brand colors on Canva, if you go to Canva on your desktop, which I apologize, there's a typo here, desktop, you can actually click the features tab on the top of Canva. You can scroll all the way down to the bottom and you can click something called palette generator. And what that will do is you can actually upload photos. So say you have photos of like you in your suit or you in just an outfit you love that maybe you have headshot photos in, and it's just colors that you vibe with and feel confident in. You can literally go to the palette generator, upload some photos of yourself or just things that you like. Maybe it's things from like your Pinterest board and they're just colors that you like, or, what your studio looks like, or, your office, whatever. And it will literally do a palette generator of the exact colors that are in your photos. And so then you can literally take that and use that as your brand colors, or you can change it and filter it and things like that to change and create like a custom palette for yourself. So I just think that that's a cool thing. And it's something that nobody really talks about a lot of this stuff. And so I just find that it's super helpful because right now, the biggest thing that I'm finding is you've got to find ways to make yourself stand out. First, you have to get your clients to where you're going to be sharing these videos and reels, and you want to share all this great information and value. But at the same time, you don't, you want to make sure that you have some consistency and that people know what is going to be the things that they're looking for and that it's going to be you. So you're not just going to like post a whole bunch of value for like nobody that's even following you there. You want to make sure that you're going to your customer page and kind of like we talked about in that first class, going to your customer page, polling your customers there, and then using that direct link to your Instagram or some of these places where you're going to be sharing value and bringing those people to your to your Instagram pages directly. You want to make it as convenient as possible for people to find you. You don't want to just say, hey, find me on Instagram. Now they have to like type in your name and try to figure out where you're at. So I do a lot of cross promotion, or I'll do some teasing on my customer page on Facebook, and I'll say, here's a little clip of my video. Full video is on my Instagram. Click this link to check it out. And I'll literally share the direct link to where I want them to go and engage with me, or I'll tag them in that post, which I'll share a little bit more of that in a little bit. There's something called Smart Mock, and this is one of my favorite things to use. You've probably seen it before. I'm going to show you some examples as we go through here. But Smart Mock is a really cool thing that you can use that will literally bring up different devices, or it'll bring up clothing, it'll bring up books. This is actually an add-on feature in Canva if you have Canva Pro. And Instagram stories, it's actually free. And I'm going to show you how to do this completely free in Instagram because it's so fun and it's such a cool hack that, again, I feel like nobody talks about, that I use a lot. But you can actually kind of download the attachment of the Smart Mock option in Canva if you have a pro account. And you can use, it'll pull up all these different examples of like laptops, iPads, computers, phones, and you can literally put whatever picture you want to show up in there. So it would look as if you're looking at your own Instagram profile, or maybe it's a picture of you that is like you want to use for some sort of advertisement. I hope that that makes sense. But this can both be done in Canva. Like maybe you want to see what something that you're doing looks like on a t-shirt, or you want to try to advertise it or do a pre-order of some sort. You can literally make it look as if you're looking at products that are on an iPad, even if you don't have a good flat lay area, or like if you were in my office right now, you'd be like, this is crazy and all over the place. I mean, I have like papers everywhere. Like I'm just an organized mess a little bit. So to do like great product photos and things like that, like I don't have like a clear table and a whole cute setup to do like flat lay photos and things like that. So I love that I can kind of fake it a little bit by using Canva to do these Smart Mock, or I can use Instagram stories and literally get rid of the background, which I'm going to show you in a little bit as well. And it makes it look like, they would never know that you were not actually at your office taking a picture of products live. So I'm going to show you how that looks, and it's really kind of a cool feature. Okay. So Canva features, again, that you may not know. So these are things, and again, you can take notes, but you're going to get a lot of this information too. These are just good things to see, and I'll show you some of this in the live. But, you can click on, there's a template section of Canva. You can search things like this. You can write in this or that, and it'll actually show and bring up all these fun templates that are already beautifully designed that literally you could just upload 2 pictures and have people choose, like, is this your favorite product or is this your favorite product? And you could literally just download those photos to your phone and upload them to Instagram stories, upload those to as an Instagram post, use them for your customer pages. There's just so much that you can do. So I love typing in kind of keywords. I'm sure you guys have seen things where people do like this or that. It's become very popular as we've kind of been getting into more of this online world where people are getting opinions and they're trying to get engagement from people online. And that is a great way to do that. You can also go under the Photos tab and the Elements tab and search quote. And if you do that, there's really beautiful things that will come up that will show you. And again, I'm going to show you this in the live when I share my screen. When you put quote in there, it'll actually pull up beautiful templates of where you can literally just stick a quote in there. So say it's like a Mary Kay quote, or just a quote that fits with your brand and you want to use it on Instagram or on your stories or customer pages, wherever. All you have to do is stick the quote in there, and then you could stick your name, or you could put the @ symbol with, whatever your Instagram handle is. And you could literally brand that photo that looks absolutely beautiful, that you did not have to create for more than, it took you like 2 minutes to create. And it adds a really beautiful element and a really nice professional branded look to your feed, that now if people want to share that, because quotes are very popular for sharing. If you guys probably notice, if you find a good quote on social media, those are a lot of times the things that get shared. So if it's going to be shared, you want to make sure that people are sharing it and that your information of where it derived from is on that photograph. So we're going to kind of search that a little bit too and show you some other ideas to search under the elements or under photos, or you could literally just search the words dots, strokes, squiggle, blob, and splash. So I'm going to show you that in the live of what those look like. But again, like this little element here down on the bottom where it kind of shows the pink dashes, that essentially was an element that somebody selected. It probably was just under like strokes. And it was one of the elements that they just added into this design. And then when I opened up this design and made it my own, it was already there. So I didn't even have to add any of this or make it cute because I don't know how to do that. So it just really makes it really simple. Okay. I love this. So now we are switching a little bit over to Instagram. We're going to go a little bit back and forth because some of this stuff can be used for both, but we're going to talk a little bit more about some Instagram things now. So there is something called the ADA framework for a carousel post within Instagram. Have you guys heard of this? I'm curious if this is something that is new to you, or maybe you've seen this format before. So this is a framework that they would use to make sales. And essentially, once you know this framework, it's going to make it really easy for you when you're coming up with different content. So have you ever, like a carousel post is when you go on Instagram and someone has, I actually just made one on my recent Instagram post that I just did. It's where you have multiple photos. So they can swipe and they'll see like 3 different things. And a lot of times people will do carousel posts for different things that add value. Okay. It's like their education, they're bringing you specific things and they're bringing you some sort of promotion, like sign up for this, or this is what this product does. And then at the end, they give a call to action. So this ADA framework that you would use, you can actually create on Canva, or you could just use it again and make it your own by yourself. And it's going to be a little confusing until I actually show you this, but you essentially want to go you want to have 4 slides. So, or 4 photographs when you're doing this type of carousel post where you want to kind of, in a sense, work full circle using this format. So the first thing that you post will be something that grabs attention. So you want to think like catchy words, think like blogs. When you read something, you're like, oh, like it catches you, or like news articles, however they end up, whatever they use as the caption or the main, title of the blog post or the news article, you kind of like grab it. It's like it's clickbait, right? So that's kind of what you're creating in that first thing that they're going to see when they scroll down on your page. The second thing, so then they would swipe, right? They would swipe to the next photograph or the next slide. And the next slide would be something that is building your interest. It's the reason why people should keep swiping to get the rest of your information. And remember that the longer that someone is on your post and lingering on your post, the more that tells the Instagram algorithm that they like your material, and it's going to start showing your material and your posts and your content to more people. So you want to share in that second one, like, why does it matter? And I'll give an example of this after. Your third slide would be where you deliver all of your details. So this would be where you're sharing the main tip, maybe your promotional info or the key message that you want to get across to your people. And then the fourth one is going to be your call to action. So it's going to be you saying something in, again, this is all written because it basically looks like an Instagram post, but it's multiple slides. And the last one will say something like telling them what you want them to do. So saying things like save this post, DM me book if this is something that you are interested in. Comment below and let me know which is your favorite. You'll see that I actually use this technique even in multiple different ways in the things that I'm posting. And that's how I really up my engagement and get people coming back to that original post. So this is called the ADA framework, and it is specifically for carousel posts, but it can be for just a stagnant one photo that you're bringing, and you just kind of start from the beginning of what you're writing to the end, and you would follow that same framework. You're grabbing attention with how you start off the title, then you're building interest by kind of getting into why it matters, what you're sharing matters for you. Then it's going to get into more of your sharing the tips, more of your specified promotional info or your key message. And then you're doing a call to action at the end of your post. Right? We keep doing that. Okay. Okay. Now this is kind of a techie cool breakdown. Okay. And I'll show you this again when we get into Canva, but just so that you have all this information. This is a Canva keyboard hack. So this is literally one of the coolest things ever. I actually didn't find out about this until recently. So if you go into Canva and you are starting a new project, you can go in at any time and you can just hit the L key and a line will show up. Like if you're designing something from scratch, a line will pop in. If you hit the T key just on your right keyboard on your computer, hey Kelly,
Hello.
if you hit the T, it's going to create a text box for you. So that you're not having to go through all these elements and add things. If you hit the R key, it's going to put in a rectangle, like a rectangular box that you can use to design. And if you put a C, it's going to do a, oh, actually, you know what? I just did this wrong. I'll have to change this after. But C, so think about it like this, like C is circle, R is to put in a rectangle, T is a text box, okay, and line is an L. So it really kind of goes specifically across the way for how simple that is. And I'll show you like just how that was just such a major mind-blowing, like, oh my gosh, this saves me so much time just being able to literally hit on my keyboard, and the designing again is even faster. Canva just does such a fabulous job at simplifying so much of this information. So you guys will be getting, once I fix a couple of my fast typos here, I will be sending all of this stuff out to you guys as well after this, so that you'll have all this information to try out yourself. Okay, this is a biggie. So most Instagram posts, if you're going to, so you can't do this with photos necessarily, but you can do this with any type of Instagram post that you're using Canva for. So if most Instagram posts are this 10 by 80. So it's 10 by 80, 10 by 80. That is the regular Canva template that they will make for, if you click on create an Instagram post within Canva, and you're going to make something that literally looks like this little blue box right here. But the problem is that if you don't resize it, if you're scrolling through the Instagram app, it will show your post to someone, or in this case, you'll be able to tell that it's the regular sizing of 1080 by 1080 because someone will be scrolling, or you'll be scrolling through, and you'll see somebody's post, but then the rest of your frame of Instagram, you'll see someone's post above and below. You want it so that as people are scrolling, all they're seeing is your post that takes up their entire Instagram feed as they're scrolling. So they're not going to see any other ones unless they scroll past it. So in order to do that, you want to resize the piece. You want to, when you go in to create something within Canva, if you go in and change, you can hit the button that says resize, and I give you all the instructions on here, and you want to just resize it from keeping that 1080, but then you want to change the other dimension to 1350. And that will give you, actually, see how that's elongated there? It actually will take up more of the frame of Instagram and will show more full screen, so that people are again resting on your posts more, feeling the need to engage. It's going to give you way more visibility. And again, this is kind of some of those techie things that I've learned along the way that have made a pretty big difference. And so I just wanted to make sure that you knew about that, because for visibility of people seeing the things that you're taking time to create and the content that you're putting out there, this is a really great hack for that. Okay, let's talk background remover. This is one of my favorite. This was actually the original reason, and Brittany talking about podcasts, this was one of the original reasons that I signed up for Canva Pro when I was starting my podcast, because I wanted to be able to do the background remover. And there's literally nowhere except for, again, things that are super expensive. And I'm, again, not very photo smart in terms of editing and all that kind of stuff. So I really love, this was the reason why when I created my podcast, I literally took a photo of myself like this one, and then you can see the difference. If I wanted to get rid of the background, there's literally one, and I write in here exactly how to do it, but it's literally called background remover, and you put any photo, you upload any photo that you have, and then you click it, and it takes like 10 seconds, and it removes the background of your photo, and now you can move this little version of yourself onto any document. Maybe you're doing a recognition document. Like literally, it makes it so easy. I cannot even explain to you how much I love the background remover. So this is how I made my actual podcast cover, was by taking a photo, and I made the design in the back. I changed it to my brand colors. And then I used the background remover to take one of my headshot photos and put it on that background, and voila, there you go. You have a beautiful backdrop. Now this is also really helpful when you are doing product photos. So let's talk specifically, because I know we have some Mary Kay girls on here. Um, let's talk specifically about why this really matters and can make a difference for product photos. Now, first off, say you have a great photo from Mary Kay, from your company, from anywhere, and you want to make it into some sort of beautiful, you want to make some sort of beautiful mock-up for maybe a promotion you're doing for customers or clients, whatever the case may be. You can make it easily in Canva. You can literally take a picture of the product. So say you have just a basic picture of like a beautiful bathroom sink or something like that, or maybe it's like a beautiful shelf that again is not in your house because your house is not clean and maybe it's a hot mess, and you really want a beautiful professional photo that looks as if it's at your house. You literally get rid of the background remover, you upload the photo that you want, you save it to your computer or your phone, and you upload it into Canva. And then you use the background remover if you have Canva Pro, which you're probably going to want to after this. And again, no Photoshop required. It will literally, you move the products around like nobody would know that it was not at your house. You just move the products around, make it exactly what you want, save and download it to your phone or your computer, and upload it wherever you want. There you go. But gotta love that trick. Okay. One of the other things is, have you guys ever seen someone that has, and I actually have this, but I have not actually done my own yet. It is when people use Linktree, or they do like a bio link of their website. So you might notice that on things like Instagram, Instagram is honestly really dumb in a lot of ways. I'm just going to say, and it does not allow you to add it. Links do not work on Instagram alone. So if you try to put a link, like say you put up an Instagram post and you're like, hey, click my link for my boot camp, or click my link for a class that I'm doing, or if you are interested in this training or going to my website, if you try to click that link, it will not go anywhere. It will not be a live link because Instagram does not support links like that, which is so crazy. I do not understand it, but they don't do it. So what a lot of people will do, you'll see, is they'll say things like, go shop my website, link in bio, and they'll use their post to drive people, or they'll use Instagram stories to drive people to their website, which is in a link in bio. However, and I'll show you this as well as we get on my phone in a few minutes. If you go to click into that, you can only put one website. So say you have, like, you want to sign people up for a swag bag of goodies, and you want people to go from your Instagram, potential new customers, and request a bag of goodies so you could do a sample pack to them. There's only one thing. You can't have them fill out a Google Doc because you only have room for one website in there, which is so stupid. So what I really like to do is, this is another thing you can do on Canva. You can actually create a really beautiful one link design that looks really beautiful, that looks almost like a professional website. You can customize it to the branding, colors, and preferences that you have. And each button stands for the URL. So you could have multiple buttons that show up within your link in bio in Instagram. One could be for requesting a sample pack. One could be for your marketing video. One could be for your website to your business. There's many different examples of what could be in there, but now it looks really aesthetically pleasing. Again, it's branded to you and it looks really just professional and really great. Does that make sense? Do you guys know what I'm talking about when I say link in bio? And again, I'll show you what mine looks like, but it just is a great way to customize and really simply give you a better look. Okay. Thank you guys. I appreciate you writing back in here. I'm like the preacher. I'm like, give me an amen. Give me something. All right. So I appreciate you guys. Okay, so talking more Instagram advanced. Now, if you guys were in my first class, and if you weren't, just reach out to me if you need some of those tools. We'll figure it out. But this is going to be a great way to use a lot of these different things. And again, take the info that you've already learned. You have all the tools. I've given a lot of really great videos. These are on a private link on my YouTube channel for people that are registered for this. And you get a chance to practice those skills and then kind of weave in some of these new ones. So although it's really difficult to like actually show you, which I might be able to do some of this since we have a smaller group actually on Zoom, and we'll have this as a recording. So we might even be able to do some of this at the end and more of the Q&A. So if you have questions, make sure you're writing them down because it's definitely going to be interactive. But we'll be able to weave in some of these principles of actually showing you the how to right here live how to create some of the things I'm talking about. Okay, these are some of the biggest success tips. I actually was a guest speaker on a top directors um, unit meeting a couple nights ago, and I talked about some of the Instagram tips and some of the ways to connect virtually that we often forget about. And one of them is using the voice memo to answer people and communicate with people on Instagram. And so this is something that I do all the time. I will say to you that as far as business is concerned on Instagram, I have built a very strong foundation of my customers following me on Instagram because I'm bringing weekly content. It started out in the beginning where they were really only getting things from me like once or twice a week. I was maybe doing one video that honestly probably wasn't that good, but I was showing my face once a week. And then I was doing something or just showing some type of value a second time a week. And so I had to build this, but again, when if you're going to be creating all this great content, you want someone that's new to watch your video or happen to find you through the hashtags and see what you're talking about in your demographic. And then you want to be able to really connect with them. So an example of this of how you want to have a high conversion rate. So an example of how I do this and how at this point, literally, this is where 90% of my leads are coming from right now. And the conversion rate of turning people that have never experienced my product line or never had haven't had an experience in a long time. They're not being serviced by anybody, whatever the case may be. But this is how I direct message them and start a conversation. So if I notice that someone new has followed my account, what I will do is go to their account. I'll go to the messenger and I'll send them a direct message, and I will literally hold it down on the voice memo. So kind of similar to Voxer. If you're familiar with Voxer, a lot of us use Voxer. I can go to and I'm just going to kind of use an example here. I can, because I did one of these earlier today, but I can go to this. Oh my goodness, I'm trying to get to it here. Let's see. I can go to this person's thing and I can hit my little microphone within Instagram Messenger to this specific person, and I can send them up to a 1 minute. It does cut you off at a minute. I can send them a 1 minute voice message. And so that 1 minute voice message might sound something like this. Hey, Katie, I see that we just got connected on Instagram. It's so nice to meet you. It's exciting. It would be great for us to meet in real life, but we've got Instagram for right now. And I love connecting and making new friends. So I saw that we just got connected and that you were kind of hanging out in my stories. And I would love to just connect with you and learn more about you. So tell me more about you. And I would just leave her like a really quick message, basically introducing myself. She hears the excitement in my voice. I can see that she's already following and engaging with some of the things that I'm posting, or maybe she just followed me, and I want to make that good impression. I want her to feel like I see her and I value her giving me input and I want to connect with her. And so that's how I basically start the conversation, is by doing that. And I think this is something that we get so used to texting and sending these messages that we lose our personality and our personal touch that we could be doing virtually in these situations. So that's a big one that a lot of people tend to forget. Another one is using the hashtags, making sure that you're using up to 30 hashtags every single time that you post, which sounds really exhausting to a lot of people because they're like, how do I even come up with these hashtags? I talked about this the first class a little bit. And so if you're not using hashtags, you are missing out on being able to connect with people. But here's the thing, if this sounds daunting to you, because I know that it is daunting, what you do, and I'll just, if this is something that's new to you, or maybe you heard this the first time I talked about it, what you do is you make a collection of 30 different hashtags for different themes that you have. Maybe you have one for your business and product related. Maybe you have one for your business and it's more recruiting related or sharing related. For me, I share thrifting stuff. So I have a whole thing of 30 hashtags that are more specific niche hashtags for thrifting. And then I have things specifically for my podcast that are going to categorize using those hashtags to get people to find me. So I go on the notes section of my phone. I make these complete lists, and how you find specific hashtags, this does take a little bit of time, but then once you've created it, you pretty much have a good idea of the same type of ones that you can use. You don't want to just copy and paste them directly over to every post or every video caption. But what you would do is make a collection of hashtags you like. You can search in accounts that are similar in size to you. So maybe there's someone that's in a competitive business and their account's a little bit bigger than yours. Maybe they have a little bit more followers than you do. And there's someone that you can relate to. You're like, they're people that are talking to them that they are attracting are the same type of people that I want to be attracting. You take a look and you take research and take note of what hashtags they're using, and you start kind of getting a list together of hashtags. Now, if you go to the Instagram search bar at any time and type in any of these words and then just slide over to hashtags or tags, I think is what it says, and I can show this as well, it will tell you how many people have used that hashtag. And if you have a smaller account, which a lot of us do, you don't want to be using super large hashtags. Like out of 30 hashtags, maybe you'll use 5 really large hashtags that have like millions of people that have tagged their post with that particular category. But a lot of them, you're going to want to be with accounts that have, 5,000, 1,000, somewhere in that smaller range that only about, I would say 1,000 to 5,000 people have used that hashtag. Okay. Um, because if you don't, then you're just going to get lost. People are going to click on that hashtag and your photo is not going to come up, right? So once you have all your hashtags and you have them put into specific categories, like this one's for my business and product related, this one specifically maybe for skincare, this I'm giving a makeup tip, whatever it is, or for other areas of your life, then what I do is I copy and paste them into my settings in my phone under text replacement and do the keyboard, which, yep, Brittany had just mentioned this too, which I did mention at my first class and showed people how to do. And you can put in a keyword, and now every single time you use that keyword, so I go to do a post on Instagram, I have all of mine in my phone personally as #1, #2, #3, and I have 10 different groupings of hashtags. And all I have to do is literally put in #1 and I can see like the last couple hashtags that come up in as when I type in the shortcut, and then I can just hit enter and all the hashtags will be put in. I hit enter, I post my thing to Instagram. So you're not going to get lost in there. You want to make sure that you are switching up some of your hashtags each time. So again, like don't just copy and paste the same ones every single time. Change a few of them and make sure that they're specific. Like the more specific you can be in your hashtags, the better, because people will be searching those particular hashtags. And there's also an option on Instagram to follow a certain hashtag. And what that means is, say you tag beauty blogger, and there's people that follow the hashtag beauty blogger. Now, what happens is Instagram, if you have a post that's getting a good amount of traction, Instagram will actually take your post and put it up almost as an advertisement on somebody's feed that follows that particular hashtag. And they don't even have to be following you to see your post. Your post might just show up randomly on someone else's feed, and then they'll be like, oh, what's this? And if it's interesting to them, they'll click through and look at your content and see if it's valuable to them, and then decide, oh, well, this is kind of interesting. And then they'll click through to your profile. And then one of the most important things, which is what I'm going to talk about next, is your bio. We really need to get clear on our bios. I recently switched my bio because I realized a few months ago that my bio was really not serving me. I didn't have a lot of conversion. I was getting a lot of views on my videos, but I wasn't getting a lot of conversion of people that actually were following me after seeing my videos. So I had high video visibility, but then it wasn't going through to converting people to actually becoming followers and following along my profile. So as you create content, you want to make sure you're very specific in what you're putting in your bio. And I'm going to give you some examples. My bio used to just say, Christ follower, beauty, MK beauty girl, beauty guru, dog mom, wife to Nate. Like it used to just kind of say generic stuff like that. And honestly, I did not realize this a long time ago, but people want to specifically know how you would serve them. So, my bio went from that to now, I'll just go back to give you an example. Now my bio says, so it, like I shared with you, it said dog mom, wife to Nate, MK sales director. It said all these, different things. And now my bio says, so you want to make sure you have your location in your bio. That's a really important one. So now it says, it has a little pin and it says Rochester, New York, saved by Jesus and dessert, helping women simplify beauty and biz growth by increasing authenticity. Podcast for leveling up. And then I linked my podcast in my bio. And then I have my link tree. which people can click on, and they can, if they click on that, all my stuff's going to come up. My podcast link is going to put in there so they can click right to my podcast. I make it simple and convenient for them to find every single thing. They can click on there and watch my success video or my informational video. They can click through and say, oh gosh, I want to request some samples. I want a pampering experience virtually. They can click right through to that, which goes right to my Google form. There's so many great things. But if they go to your bio and it's not specifically clear, like you want to say, helping busy moms get more done with organization and a 5-minute makeup look, or you know what I mean? Like just giving you kind of some examples of what you could say. You want to think about how to create a more well-rounded view of, if people are coming to your page, who do you serve and who do you help, right? And lastly, on this page, you want to be consistent. You want people to know, and like they know what to expect when you're going to be posting things. So for instance, a couple examples of this, and you got to make this your own. You can feel free to copy mine if you want, but I really recommend that you make it your own. So for example, you might have a makeup tip Monday every Monday, or a Tuesday, makeup tip Tuesday every Tuesday. For me personally, I do Thrifty Thursday. So every Thursday I show my top 3 thrift finds of the week. Maybe you do Freebie Friday and you give some type of product away if people are making a purchase with you that week, or there's some type of, value like Wisdom Wednesday or something like that. You don't have to specifically have a name for it, but you want to have a good idea of the consistency of how many times are you going to post a week? How many times are you going to do Reels videos? And how many times are people going to see you bringing value to this platform weekly? Because the more that you do that, even if it's only twice a week, but if people know, okay, every Tuesday and Thursday, I can expect her to go live and do a little video, or I can expect a fun Reels video, people will start to gain traction on when to be plugging into what you have to offer. Okay, smart mockup on Instagram. This is one of my favorite ones. It's absolutely free. I'm going to show you how to do it. When I pull up my phone, we're almost there. But we're going to click that plus sign that is on the top of your Instagram page. And what you can do is once you hit story, you can scroll all the way over through the features and the filters. And you can literally use that little magnifying glass to search different features that you can use within Instagram. And you can type in mockups. And if you type in mockups and select it, you can literally pick a ton of different mockups. Again, same thing. That'll show like a picture of a phone, just like this, where you can add your own photograph. It'll just make it really beautiful and make just a really easy way to do it. You can also put a video in here. Like this one is technically a video. So if I had this in a form of uploading this page right now to Instagram or Facebook or something like that, I could actually click on this and it would play the video that actually is in this little phone that I created as part of this thing. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that. This is something that I just used. I use it all the time. So again, another example of one of these mock-ups. It's just a picture of an iPad and I added my photo in there. Okay. Now here's an alt text feature. This is when you're doing regular photographs, just like if you're doing one post like this on Instagram, you can scroll all the way down. I'm going to show you how to do this. And you click on advanced settings. And there's something that is called alt text. And in the alt text, you can basically treat that as if someone was going to go to Google and search something. So say I was posting this picture on my Instagram, I could scroll to the bottom before I hit post to my wall, and I could put in some alt text. I could put like beauty blogger, beauty babe, Mary Kay Beauty, lip gloss loving, beauty on a budget. Like I could put in whatever keywords I wanted and under that alt text feature, and then go back to post it. And again, it's going to increase my visibility of people seeing it, because most websites use that SEO for text and page content. And so, alt text is used for a lot of identifying images in other different browsers. So you might find that people just stumble across your page more than normal, new people, and that's what we want. Okay, some Reels advanced tips. How many of you guys on here have done Reels yourself? Have you tried to do a Reel yet? Anybody tried to do a Reel yet? Or maybe you're already doing Reels. Okay, so if you are new to Reels, I would definitely say make sure that you plug into that first training that I did. I'll make sure that you have all the tools for that, because I do show you a video on how to start from start to finish on how to create a Reel. But this is a couple more of those advanced settings and things that you might want to know. Number one is if you have a Reels video that did very well. So, for instance, like if I have like probably 20 or 30 Reels videos at this point. And if you go in and realize that one of your Reels videos got a lot of views, now viral for you might be like it got 200 views, and maybe some of your other Reels videos only got like 100 or less, right? So viral for you, you want to look at the things that are getting the most views. And you can even do this within your Instagram posts. Like go look through your last 5 posts and say, okay, how many likes did I get on this? Was this something that people commented on? You can click on the insights tab and it will literally tell you how many people looked at your post, how many people commented. It shows you all the analytics right there on Instagram. So once you know what as you start doing this more, and it does put you in a position where you have to start doing more in order to really be able to test this theory out, kind of like booking. Like people have to book enough people to actually get the results. So once you know what reels that you're doing that are getting a lot of traction and that seem to be things that people are really engaging in, I always tell people repurpose your reels that are trending. Or if you're doing research and you're watching other people's reels that are in our industry, I do this a lot with other makeup and skincare companies. I see something, a video that someone else does, and I'm like, ooh, that's actually a great idea. How could I kind of make that my own? Or how could I just honestly use the exact same thing, switch up the music? Maybe I'm doing the video a little bit differently. I use it as inspiration because I already know that it got a lot of views and that people engaged a lot with someone else's video or someone else's post. So repurposing any of your information. Maybe you've already your Reels videos can be made right through the Reels feature on Instagram, or they can be made literally from videos that you have on your phone. Like you could take videos you already have made on your phone and just edit them down to that 15 to 30 seconds that is allotted for a Reels video. And you could make those into any type of Reels video. So you don't have to actually go in the app to create a Reels video, which I think is very helpful too, because I honestly don't create a lot of um, I don't create a lot of those actually in the app. I do a lot more of them actually creating outside of Instagram. And then I just upload, they're saved to my phone and I upload them into using the Reels feature. Another thing that people really love, and I think it's free, but then I think to do certain things it might be more, is there's this thing called the teleprompter app. And so some of you people might really appreciate this so that you never mess up. Maybe you don't know what to say and you're like, okay, I have this whole thing typed out of what I want to talk about, but I honestly might mess it up. And I don't know if I can do it in 15 to 30 seconds of a Reels video. You literally download this teleprompter app and it will literally show up like it was a teleprompter, like you were on TV, Brittany. And it tells you it types up whatever you put in there and it will show it actually on your screen as you are videoing and doing your recording so that you can make sure you say exactly what you want to say. There's also an app called InShot, which will add video captions. So say you're doing a Reels video where you're talking a lot and you're like, I don't really want to put on sound bubbles and have to type up everything that I'm saying to put in little bubbles, to point to and do all that crazy stuff on the Reels video. You can use an app called InShot and it will automatically do auto-generated captions of what you're saying, which again is really good to think about because if people are if people are impaired or if people are at work and they can't listen to your videos and your reels, you don't want them just scrolling by, because the most annoying thing to me is when people just do videos and they don't put any captions or anything. And then again, if say you're standing in line at the grocery store and you're not going to like have your phone on and be listening to it, but you're going to, you want to watch someone's video, people will just scroll right by if they feel like they don't know what's going on in order to engage in it. This other new feature that literally came out yesterday is called Instagram Reels Remix. It's brand new. And this, you might have seen this if you've seen any like TikTok videos, but essentially, I don't use TikTok, but I know how to use those features. But this is a new feature where you can actually create a Reels video next to someone else's Reels video. So it'll actually play both at the same time. I don't know if you've ever seen this before, but say somebody's doing some cool dance or something like that. And I'm actually thinking, this has got me thinking of some cool videos that I could do for my business where like I could team up with someone and we could both do a Reels, like somebody could do a Reels video, or maybe somebody shows something having to do with washing their face. And it's like, not the correct way, or, whatever. I could take their Reels video, put it side by side, and I could film my own thing right next to it that doesn't have sound, or I can add music, and it would show both frames in one video that I would be able to post. So that is brand new. Tell you how to do it on here. Again, it's a little bit more advanced as part of this class, but I do tell you exactly how to create it if that's something that you want to get into at some point. Instagram mistakes I see when it comes to reels and everything else. And it's just because people just they don't know enough, and they haven't really like gotten into this enough to really know. When you do Instagram reels videos, they can only be 15 to 30 seconds. And so a lot of times, like you're setting up your phone and you're like, okay, I'm going to talk about this, and you're trying to get the right setup, and you record as part of the recording, you setting up the phone and like getting into position. You're like, okay. And then when you get done, it records you like going like this to turn your recording off, right? So I see a lot of that where I see that transitions of people setting up their camera and then ending the video clip. And so you'll want to use the timer feature on Instagram Reels so that people don't have to see you pressing start and ending the clip. It's going to save you more time because you only get 15 seconds. So you want as much value as possible in that video. Another thing that I see people doing is not using question boxes. And so the question boxes is a feature that you can use within Instagram stories. And if you are going to put stories on if you're going to create a story for your profile, you can go type in specific questions. Now, here's the thing. People always ask me this. I could go, and maybe you've seen this before, where someone says like, what's the best restaurant? Or maybe you want to do some things for your business on Instagram stories, and you want to say, um, let's use an example of say your question is, what's your biggest skincare concern? Okay. And you put that on Instagram stories and you want people to respond, or what's your biggest question about what I do as a business? And you kind of want people to respond, but people kind of feel uncomfortable at responding because then they know that they asked the question, and they kind of want to remain anonymous. So here's how you kind of work the system with that. You go in and you make a question box in your Instagram stories, and then you go in after you've posted it and you type in your own question. So like, I don't wait for people to say like, how much is it to start Mary Kay? Or, I don't wait for someone to actually ask a question. I actually go type a question into my own question box. And now what will happen is it will look as if when I go into the back office of my Instagram, it'll look as if I got responses. But then when I go to share someone's response in the question box, what they asked, it won't show their name. So they have absolutely no idea that it was me putting in my own question in the question box. And now I can go on live and I can do a quick little video on Instagram stories. And I could be like, hey, so one of the questions we got was, how much time does it take to have this business? And I just wanted to answer that and let you know that it's as much or as little as you want. It's whatever you put into it. And I could literally do a 15-second video of me answering that question that someone asked. And now it helps other people to see that, oh, well, other people are asking these questions. Like, why wouldn't I ask a question? And you'll see the people that start engaging and following some of the things that you're doing for your business. So that's a huge one. So not using those question boxes. Like I used to just be like, gosh, how are people getting all these people asking questions? Like I never get people to ask questions, or maybe I get one or two people that would actually engage in something that I'm posting. And it was just because they felt uncomfortable asking the question. But it kind of gives them permission when they see other people asking. It gives them a little bit more permission to say, hey, I'm going to maybe put my question in, or maybe I'll share a response. Okay. Okay, the other thing is when you go to do your Instagram video, you will see this when I post it, the full video. So Instagram, you guys remember I showed you that thing. It was like a box, like 1080 by 1080. The Instagram Reels or stories length is longer. So here's what a lot of times people will do. They put text in their Reels videos, but they put text like here and here. Like at the very top or very bottom of their video. And then what happens is it gets cut off. So now someone's watching, they're scrolling through Instagram and they're seeing your video, but your text is not even visible because it's too high or too low, or it's too quick because you have way too much text on there. So you want to avoid running into that problem. And the way that you do that is once you create the Reels video, you save it to your phone, and then you go check your phone, like where you look at your photos and your videos, and you play the video, and you make sure that when you go through, and if you were to upload this into Reels on Instagram, that your text actually shows up and that it does not disappear from being too high or too low. So it really is going to be in kind of this middle box that you're going to see. Okay. The top 25%, bottom 25% is going to be, and you have to remember too that everybody has different phones. So I realized that today when I was doing a poll, and I had the poll answers, and I had it all the way down at the bottom of my screen. And then people kept messaging me and saying, "Oh, I can't see the bottom of that. My phone cut it off," because they had like really old phones that were the screen was not as big as mine. So it literally just would cut off the bottom when they would go into the app and look at my stuff. So you want to avoid that happening to you. Okay, last couple things here. Using the polls. So maybe if you've looked at my Instagram story recently, you see that I do a lot of polls. I try to get a lot of engagement on my stories. So the reason why you want to do polls is because that filters your audience. So how I'm getting leads and how I'm making this great business for me is I'm asking questions multiple times a week, and I'm seeing who's engaging with me. So if I'm posting something specifically for my business, people are going to vote and they'll say like yes or no. I'll be like, are you interested? Do you struggle with breakouts from wearing the mask? Yes or no? Everybody that hits yes, I can go through those responses will be available for me to look at for only 24 hours. So what I do is I go in and I make sure, okay, I posted these polls at 9 a.m. in the morning. So I need to make sure I get the responses and screenshot the responses and save them to my phone so that I know who said yes to my poll. And once I know that, what usually will happen is some new people, and if you are growing your account, you'll have about 3 to 5 or 3 to up to 10 people a week that will be engaging on your polls and your Instagram stories that are new followers that have found you that you have not converted to potential customers yet. So this is how I know exactly who to reach out to, because then you don't feel weird like you're cold calling either. Then you're like, literally, I message them and I use the voice memo feature and I say, hey, Sharon, it's so nice to meet you. I don't know if we've already connected, but I saw that you were hanging out in my stories and that you said yes, that you're experiencing some maskne right now from wearing the mask. What are you using, if you don't mind me asking, for skincare right now? Again, I'm just getting the conversation started with her. And now as I'm getting the conversation started, then I can kind of work my way to getting to know her, finding a common ground and connection, and then going from there and saying, hey, would you ever be open? Have you ever had a Mary Kay experience? Would you ever be open to me sending you a swag bag of some goodies, and I'd love to be able to do a little virtual 30-minute happy skin hour with you and see if we can come up with some solutions of some things to recommend, and I'd love to get your opinion on a couple things and see if maybe they might help you. So that's kind of how I'm converting. I'm asking very intentional questions when I'm communicating with them. So I'm being very specific and direct. Is this an offer that you want? Would you like a sample pack? Or I'll say something like, hey, I noticed that you were hanging out in my stories and that you said you were struggling with some breakouts. I'm putting together some self-care packets this week to send out to 5 people. I've already purchased um 5 self-care packets. I'd love to be able to gift one to you and be able to show you and give you that concierge service of being able to show you how to use what I'm going to be sending you to see if it helps. Do you need help? Insert the problem that our product can serve and solve potentially their problem. I say, do you need help with getting your skin to clear up during this time? Do you need help with your lips being really dry this time of year? Because that's kind of how you answered in the poll. So sending these personal messages, and we're doing these via the voice message, is really the best way. Helps us to really get an increase in engagement. And using those polls, I use those polls even on my Facebook groups for my customers. Like, hey, what do you want to see covered on Makeup Tip Tuesday next week? I'll type into Google or Pinterest like top beauty searches 2021 or top beauty searches today, and it'll pull up things that other people are searching on Google or on Pinterest. And I'll have an idea of what's trending and what people are searching, what they want to find answers to. And then I pick like usually a couple of those things and I poll my customers and say, do you want to see a smoky eye next week? Or do you want to see favorite masks for breakouts. And I'll give them an option, and then they're engaging like we've been taught. The more that people help to feel like they're a part of it, the more that they will support it, the more that they will get involved and engage with you. Okay, going back to the insights tracking, there is an insight tab within your Instagram page. I will show you that. And it will show you, you're going to scroll all the way down to total followers. You're going to hit most active times, and then you're going to see when the most people are looking at your particular Instagram account. And once you know this, so say you have the most people looking at your account at like 12 noon on Tuesdays, because it switches by day. So say you have the most people looking at your account Tuesday at 12. If that's the case, you don't want to post. So this is how I thought about it at first. Like when I first started doing this, I was like, oh, everyone's on Tuesday at 12. So I'll do my post Tuesday at 12. Then as I got smarter about this and did a lot of my own work and took classes and things like that, I figured out that you actually want to post a good 2 to 3 hours before your most climactic time that people are going to be on the app looking at your stuff on occasion based on the people that are connected and following you. So if it says 12 o'clock, I kind of want to try to get my post for the day up by 10. So then it gives it time to be able to grow and then level out at that high peak time of when people are generally looking at my page. So again, there's a lot of details in this. This is not something that everybody has to do. It's again, it's as much as you want to get involved in it. And it depends on, again, how many people are on there. Like I do so much of my business on Instagram, and that's my lead generation and things like that. So I find that it's really helpful to have some of those insights to know when I'm going to get the most engagement if I'm going to be posting something. So that's just a little tracking there for you, because we love numbers and we love looking at what works, right? So another great thing is you can save replies in your direct messages. So if you're sending, you can't do this with voice messages, but if you say you're sending something to somebody like, hey, it's so nice to meet you. I'd love to talk about samples or whatever. You can actually hit this little icon within the direct message if you're sending someone a text within Instagram, and you can add a shortcut within that to save a response, so that way, same thing, if you did like, response 1, you could put R1 as the shortcut, and it would automatically, each time you could put that in there, and that way you're saving time on handwriting brand new messages. If you tend to say a lot of the same responses to people, you can have shortcuts for writing to people within your direct messages. Okay, we have, I don't know why this cut all the way over here, but anyways, um so we have the customized audio is a tough one, and I get asked this a lot. There is no way, and I see a lot of, this is another probably what I would put in one of these mistakes category. What I see a lot of times are people create videos that they put on Reels or an IGTV, and then they add music from the Instagram music or Reels category. And like they're talking about a product. So they might be like this, like, hey, this is a really great product, blah, blah, blah. And then they go to add music in, and then they don't realize that once they add music in, we can't hear anything they're saying. So now the video that they posted, they're going like this, and it's like, and all I hear is ba-na, da-na, da-na, da-na. And like all I hear to see is their mouth moving, but they don't realize that like we can't actually hear anything. So when you add music to any videos, it will automatically cut your audio. Instagram is working on a feature to fix that, and I included in here a couple separate apps if you want to do videos. Like this is why I do a lot of videos using the Splice app that I pay for and use. That's like $30 a year, and I do all my different videos on there because there's so many great features. There's royalty-free music, and I can control the volume and customize the audio so that if I want to have music come in loud and then I'm going to be speaking, so then I have the music dip down as I'm speaking, I can do some of those things using apps like Veed. Veed is a special feature I think you can get on a desktop too. Kapwing is another one that I included in here. And then I didn't include Splice, but that's in my first training that I did, which is a way that you can kind of maneuver that to get audio and get music in there and get your speaking audio in the video at the same time. All right, things that are going to boost your account. Number 1 is clicking the like button 24 hours after people comment. So maybe you haven't noticed that I do this, but this is something that I do a lot. So say I have a video or a post that I put up and um people will comment and be like, "Oh, I love that," or "Oh my gosh, great video." And I will immediately comment back to them like within usually a couple hours because I have a few different times a day that I'm checking Instagram. But after I try to engage by commenting back to them because that's going to boost my engagement and boost people seeing that post that I put up. But then what I will do is the next day, anybody that did comment on that photo the next day, I will go back and heart and like their comments. And now what that does is it puts it right back through in the algorithm in Instagram and gets more views because now it reminds people that already had liked my post. Maybe they didn't comment on my post, but they liked it, or people that did comment on my post. It sends them a little notification that I liked their post. And now it brings them back. It's kind of a reminder, brings them back to my page, and they might see something that now I posted the next day. Just because, again, they're back on my page. So it's bringing people in this kind of, cyclical motion back to your account. So another thing is tagging people in your posts. So tagging people as if they were in the photo or video with you. You can do this for Reels videos. You can do this for regular posts on Instagram. When you do different polls, you can ask people questions and you can actually tag people in the Instagram story or in the post. If you were having a conversation with a customer earlier in the week and they were like, "Yeah, I've always wanted to know how to do that." And you're like, "Oh, I should create a video on that." And now you do create the video, you try to tag that person in it so that they will see it. You guys have to realize that out of maybe you have 250, 500, 1,000, whatever followers, out of those people, only about 10% of those people are actually seeing your stuff. And how they will start to see your stuff more is if they are commenting and engaging. It will tell the Instagram gods that they like your content and it will start putting your content in front of them more. And so it really just kind of works in this weird cycle where you really are, if you want to start seeing other people's posts more, the best way that you can make sure that you're never going to miss a post of someone else's is by commenting on their post, saving their post, and adding things that have value that people will want to come back to. Last thing on here is engaging on bigger accounts. So if there's accounts that are, again, similar demographic to the type of women or the type of client that you want to attract, and it's someone in your community that you're connected with, they post something new, try to post something or comment on their post or video, something valuable, so that their audience who is also going to be posting will see what you wrote. And if you even, again, kind of get in little conversations with other people, like, "Hey, I agree with you. I know it's, this is the question I also had that I was going to ask her too." Like, just engaging. You have to remember that these social media, like, there's a difference between like wasting time on social media and making connections, building relationships in a way that you would do it if you were actually in person. You'd be having a conversation with them. You'd be asking them questions. You'd be getting to know them. You'd be making a connection point. And that is the same with Instagram, but people don't really see it that way. So that's going to give you more engagement by bringing more people to see your posts and your page. If you have low engagement, it could totally mean that you are not planning. You're flying by the seat of your pants. You're not being viewed as an expert because you don't put teasers and education and consistent content out there. Maybe it's just like photos of your dog or photos of your baby. And it's not really, you want to grow your business, but you're not really putting consistent value out there that people can grab onto. That might be why. Maybe you're not getting vulnerable enough. One of the biggest things I realized in this past year was I wasn't seeing a lot of conversion because I was like all about business and all about the different things that I was doing, but I never really showed vulnerable, more transparent sides of myself. And this is something that I've talked to my mom about a few times. Like, people want to feel like they can connect with you and they find things funny, like they can sense a piece of your personality. Even if they don't know you personally and they just know you online, so you want to treat it like you're building those relationships face to face. Okay, guys. We're going to open up for questions. We've got about 20 minutes. We're going to open up for questions. And then I figured, depending on questions and things like that, I can share my screen on my phone and start showing you some of these things, whether it be on Canva or on Instagram. I'd love to start showing you some specific things as we close tonight. So I'm going to open this up. If you want to unmute or if you want to hit up the chat, what things would you like to see? What questions do you have or any specific things that I have not covered? Would it be helpful to get on? Okay, wait, let's see. Okay, yeah, good question. So maybe what I'll do is let me pop on to, would it be helpful if I popped onto my Instagram just while we have some time here and showed you a screen recording of how I'm doing some of the things that I'm doing? Is that helpful? I hope so. Okay, let's do that because I think that that would be a good use of our time. And then we'll have some of these things on the recording as well. So let me do a new share. I am going to do my iPhone. Oh, I just need to connect here. Okay, let's see. Just need to connect to the Wi-Fi here. Okay, can we see this? All right. So you guys, let me know in the chat if you can see this. I don't know if there's a way to make this, I don't think there's necessarily a way to make this bigger, but you kind of get the idea. Okay. Let me just pop this open here. Okay, okay, perfect. You can see this. Okay. So talking about some of the things that that we want to look at in here, okay? So one is that insights tab I was telling you about. If you hit that insights tab right in the middle, it will bring up all the accounts that you have reached. So it'll kind of give you stats of everything. But this was the thing I was telling you guys. If you go and click where it says total followers, it will show you your follower breakdown and how many follows you've had. You're always going to have unfollows just because people, again, won't see your stuff and then they might not even remember they followed you, or maybe they don't like something that you posted. And that's totally cool because you want to get your people following it on your page. Okay. So if I scroll down here all the way, it will go to most active times. So this is what I was talking about. If you go to most active times, so like tomorrow, let's use this as an example, Friday. If I just hit right on the graph, kind of like Mary Kay In Touch, where it shows your specific numbers. So it pretty much shows that my top engagement is about 6 o'clock. But overall, there's not a huge difference in when people are seeing my stuff. So I would look at this and say I would want to post tomorrow sometime between like I really could post first thing in the morning if I wanted to, but sometime around noon, somewhere in there, so that my highest time that people are looking at posts of mine are from 12 to 6. And I don't want to put it up at 6 o'clock because then it starts to dip down. So that's a way of seeing that. It'll break down how many women versus men are looking at my posts, what the age groups are. It gives you a pretty good amount of analytics and where people live and all in your growth overall. Okay. It'll also, if you go to specific, let's say you go to specific things that you posted. So let's just go for an actual post. If you click on it and then click view insights right here, it will actually, and you scroll up, it will actually show you how many profile visits you've had, how many your reach has. It'll show you that little bookmark, how many people have saved your post or commented. It will also show you some of your impressions, okay? And these are important because it'll actually show you like it says 199 accounts reached, 2% were not following. So about 206 people saw this. It'll show from different locations. And then when you have hashtags in here, it'll actually show you, which maybe I can go to another post to show you this better. An older post that I know got, let's see, view insights here. So it'll actually say in here from hashtags, how many people found me on hashtags. So I can look and see, okay, only 10 people found me out of the 500 using the hashtag. So what that tells me is that I needed better hashtags within this category. So like this was a thrifting thing that I did. Yeah. So to show insights, you're going to go to, yeah, that main page. Did you guys see where I went to that? So like when you're clicking on the post, see how right here where it says view insights, right below your photo, it will show the view insights button. And if that number again is low, like based on the hashtags, like some of mine are not lower, and I want to look and see for an example here. Maybe I can look at this one. Okay, so this is a better example. So it says from hashtags, 59 people. I think that that's a pretty good amount of people that found it through hashtags. So that means my hashtags that I'm using for this particular post have a pretty good reach and they're working for getting a large amount of reach. So I can kind of compare like what things am I posting are getting more reach, what things are more people seeing, and is it based on the hashtags? Maybe I need to change the hashtag strategy for a particular thing that I'm posting. Okay. Now, say we're going to go again and do a Reels video. Um, let's say, let's just use an example of if I was going to, let's see here, my videos. Say I was just going to use, say it's a video that I already did. I'm just kind of looking for one here. If it's a video that I already did, or just a clip of a video, say I wanted to do something like this. So here's what I'm talking about. At the bottom, see how in this video, I made a little clip, but then I'm like, I don't want someone to see my dirty compact. So I literally just used this little cursor at the bottom and I had cut this. And this is how it actually shows up in the actual video is I had cut this and brought it back to only the amount of the video that I want people to see. And then once I add that clip, I hit add. And now I film another part of the video. So I hold down this little center thing here to film. I'm going to film a video of myself. So say I'm just going to film a video of myself and I end it. I can click on this little back arrow to watch the video of myself. I can trim it with the scissors and say I want that to be shorter, or I want to cut the beginning of it maybe. So then I go back to the beginning. Maybe I want to cut the beginning of it. But whenever I'm done, I can hit trim in the corner and now it will add both of these segments together. Anytime, so at the top, see where that little pink thing is at the top? That's actually showing me how much time I have. So if I hit done on here in the bottom corner, I see that I still have a pretty good amount of time. Now to use this timer, I could hit the timer function and it'll tell me I've got 4.8 out of 15 seconds recorded so far. So I could always set the timer and I could, it'll do a 3, 2, 1 countdown. And I could be talking to you right now and doing this video and getting a pretty good idea of as my time is running out, it'll do a countdown and then it'll end. And then it'll automatically start playing what I have of myself recorded. And I could be talking. Okay, we're going to go back to that. Now we can add a lot of these different effects in here. So say I want to go back and I just want to delete this. Film a video. Okay. So say this was the only video I was doing, since we'll do that since it doesn't have sound. That was the only video I was doing. I can now hit this little arrow here. Okay, it's not live. Nope, not live till you make it live. So say I wanted to add some text, I go up to the top here to my little text stuff and I can say, color beauty. I can choose a color that I want. I can use that dropper and maybe pick a color from the thing. I can change up some of these and just play along with some of the text options. I just hit that to highlight it and I hit done. And I want to put this down here. Okay. Now, right now, this will play through my whole entire video. But now if I go down to this little corner here and hit the bottom, I can go down to the bottom and same thing. I get to choose how long I want it to show up on my video. So if I only want it to show up for a couple minutes, then I just drag this on the bottom to where I want it to go. So this is how the text will disappear. Like if I only want this on for a couple seconds, it'll show you it kind of muted like that. and it'll be bolded when it shows that it's actually playing on the video. Does that make sense? So I think that that's just a lot of the questions that I get about making reels. Once you have, say that's all I was doing for the video, and then I wanted to, again, put another text in here, say like follow for more beauty tips. Now, when I say, so see how I scroll down here and it shows a little bit of my, I don't want to go all the way down here, even though it's in the frame. I don't want to go all the way down here to the bottom. I want to keep this in high enough the frame. I also don't want to go up here on top. So I want to keep this really in that box of the frame. Okay. I want to make sure that as I go down and I see that bottom part where my name pops up from the bottom, I'm not going to go any lower than where that information is, because otherwise it will be cut off when people see the video. So if I drag that there, follow for more beauty tips, I can go down to the bottom and click on where it says follow. And I can say, okay, let me drag it over from the front. And I want to make sure these aren't on at the same time. I want to bring this to the end of the video, like the last 3 to 4 seconds. I drag it like this, and it only pops up at the end. Okay. Whenever I'm done with my video, I can hit done. One of the things I might want to add, which I should have added at the beginning, so I apologize I did not show that, but one of the things I can always add, I can add different GIFs on here. You know, I could add something like this, like whatever you want to add. You could add different things on there, but just know that when you add those GIFs on there, you can also adjust, again, how long you want that to be on there. So maybe I only want that to come on at the end, and I want it to line up with the follow for more beauty tips. I can move that. Okay. Now I need to add, one of the things I didn't do again was add the music onto the beginning, but say I'm done, I hit done in the corner, and I always hit this little download button, which is in the top here with the little arrow and the downward arrow, so that I can save whatever I did to my phone, so that if I want to, I don't want to lose it. Like if something goes wrong, I always try to save this to my phone if I'm not ready to post it right yet. It won't save the music that you've chosen, but it will save the video to your phone with the writing on it. So I always do that. And then you could always go back in and just add this in, and it's already done. But I can hit share to. It'll bring up my thing here. I can hit cover, and I could scroll through here through my actual video if I want this to be the cover for my video, or I can hit add from camera roll. And this is how I do it from Canva. So for instance, I'm just going to scroll through a bunch of my stuff here so I can give you an idea. Say I made something in Canva that I want to be the cover photo. Now see how one of these, you can see at the bottom here, it cut off. So I had to make sure I fixed the sizing, and I did a second one. So I can click on that, and now that'll be the cover photo for this video. So this is how it'll show up on my, this is how it'll show up on my actual Instagram feed, but then it'll go right into the video. Now you cannot, okay, so can you edit it again after you save it? So after you've saved it, you can, after you saved it, you cannot edit the text. So that's the biggest thing. If you do a video and you just want to save the video as is with no text, and you want to add the text right before you post it, then just save the actual full video to your phone before you add text. Because once you add text, you can't take it away. Like if you've saved it and that's the only one you have, you can't edit it. Okay. But if I hit done here, one of the cool things that you can do is you can actually save as draft. So if you go to the bottom here, say you're not ready to post it yet, but you made a great Reels video and everything's ready to go. All you got to do is type in the caption. You could even type in the caption right now and it would save it all in there. You could hit save to draft. And when you click that, I'm not going to do it right now because I don't want mine to actually go into there, but you can save it as a draft. And then what will happen is, so I'm not going to save this one. I'm just going to get rid of it. So it'll question you as to whether or not you want to save it. But if I wanted to take a video that I had saved on my phone, I would just scroll up from the bottom when I go into Reels, take any type of video clip, and then I would add in my stuff and do the exact same thing. Where now I would add in the text, share to, and then I can save this to draft or do whatever I want to do. Okay. I can also, if I don't want to share it to Reels and I don't want it on my profile, I can also share it to my Instagram stories if I want to do that. But if I want to get out of this, I just click discard. Okay. One of the things I was trying to figure out what else I was going to show you guys as we wrap up here. Okay, so yeah, so only stories expire after 24 hours. Reels, videos, and anything like this on your page, they stay. Yep. What other questions can I show you guys? Oh, I wanted to show you. Okay, so let's go to the plus sign up here. I wanted to show you the mock-up. Reels will be there. Yeah, and Reels always stay there, you guys. So here's the cool thing. See how I've got these little video icons? These are all Reels videos that are on my regular page. Anything that has the Reels icon. But if you go to anyone's profile and click this play button right here, those are where all, so see how I have something in the drafts right now that was Reels video that I'm not posting for a few days. So I haven't saved the draft, but these are all my Reels videos. So you can go to anyone's account and see all their Reels videos in under this tab. Yeah. So let me show you the mock-up here. So we're going to hit the plus sign in the top right-hand corner right there. We're going to hit story. And now let's go all the way. We're going to scroll from the bottom here. These are all different filters. We're going to scroll all the way over to these magnifying glass. And we are going to hit the magnifier in the corner right there. And it's already in here. We're going to hit mock-up. We're going to search mock-up, but you would type this in. Now look at all of these super cute things you can do. So these are already made for you. And you can literally click on any of them that you want and add your own stuff in there. Like, how cute is that? So say I wanted to, let's use an example. Like say I wanted to do something with like product. Yeah. Let's pretend that it was just like sitting right here. Okay. Oops. So I'm going to pull that up and I'm going to hit try it and it will pull that up. Okay. Now it'll say, now I click on the thing right here that says add media. Let's say I got to find a product picture. I was not prepared. Hold on. What could work? What could work? As you can see, I've got lots of photos here. Say I wanted to add this photo. Okay, so obviously you kind of get the idea, but say you wanted to add that, and then I just click off to the side. So if that was just products, now if I was doing this on Canva, like I said, I could just get rid of the background and it would just show up as if that product was just like sitting on here and it would look like I just styled it that way. But you can literally hit off to the side here, anywhere outside of your image. And you can, once you enter in mockups, you can literally scroll through and it will bring up all different styles that now you can tap to add your media into. Isn't this cool? I just think this is like so cool. And then sometimes they'll have ones like this where they'll have different options where you can hit like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Like how cool is that? I could literally take my photo in this right now, you know? So they just have lots of really cool options. And then once, say I was going to do this, say I was going to like use this one and I'm adding my media and I wanted to add like this cool jacket or something in there. Okay. And then once I do that, then I hit the X. Oops. Uh-oh, no, I don't. I went too fast. Let me use this as an example again. Add media. Okay. Obviously, this is not going to be for real what I'm doing, but you kind of get the idea. And then I'm going to hit this middle button. And it's basically going to almost kind of take a picture so that that's what I'm uploading. And then then I can add text if I want on here. But then when I'm done, I can say send to my story and I can post it, or I can send it to individual people. So that is a really cool mock-up feature. One of the last things I'll show you before we log off, and if we want to get rid of it, we just X out of all of this. We cancel, we X out, we X out, we go all the way back to the beginning. One last thing I will show you is, let's do a new share and let's go to, okay, let's just go really quickly to my Canva. Okay, so in Canva, we talked about just creating this. I want to show you how to do the some of the things in here quick, just a couple things. Say we wanted to create any type of design, say we want to do an Instagram post, I can click on that within Canva. I can choose from any of the things. So again, I can type in search templates, this or that. Look at all of these cute. I could say, okay, yep, I want that one. And just bring it right over. It's already done. And I could hit this photo. I could go to photos that I have or that I've uploaded and say, I want, and I can drag this photo over and literally just replace the photos. I can change any of the text. If I want to click on the background, oops, if I want to click on the background, I can go to this little color, background color here and do my, this is my brand kit or my brand palette, or I could take any of the colors from there and change anything I want. Change the colors. Okay. And then same thing, if I want to take this photo, I can go up to effects. I can hit background remover. It'll take a couple seconds. And next thing you know, you have no background. So if I did the same thing with product, I could do background remover and I could do anything I wanted on here. Pretty awesome. The other thing is when you go to kind of like I was saying before, so we want to just go back, want to get rid of this one. Oops. Well, we'll just go back on here. Let's see. So at any point, again, with these Canva options, you can add your brand colors in here, right? And this is where you can add in your colors, or you can go to, again, using those things that I added and you going to your specific account, you can go to, trying to get back to it here. Where is it? You know, you can go to any type of designs. And as you can see, this is literally how I make a whole bunch of my stuff. I make my events in here, but a lot of these templates are already created that all I have to do is put in my photos and it makes it look really super nice and professional. So I hope that that is helpful to you guys as we come to a close. And of course, if you have any additional questions, feel free to ask. But any last questions of anything we wanted to make sure we knew? Lots of information, I know. I hope that it was helpful to you and it was a good use of your time. And give me the next like 24 to 48 hours and I will have the information sent to you so that you have the replay and the slideshow and some of those tools. So I hope that that was helpful. Thanks for being on here, guys. I know we'll have a lot of people watching the replay. So thanks for taking time to just invest in so we can all share and be better in what we do, right? So I absolutely love it. I love teaching this and I hope we can do more. I'd love any feedback or any anything that you'd like to see in any future classes or anything like that would be helpful. So we will end it there tonight and I hope to see you guys next time. Thanks for being here. I'll see you later.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Brett. See ya. Bye, Kelly.